So what happens? I mean, what happens when the people that are supposed to love us walk?
Well, we die.
I mean, there's pain. It's just tragic. It's a mess. I mean, because disconnect causes panic. One word, it's panic. Now, Sue, in your book, we talk about these demon dialogues, you call them. Right? And these are three nasty ways that people see their relationships disintegrate, okay? Now, we want to talk about the first one, the blame game, okay? How we get into that one.
Well, basically, I think what happens is people get emotionally disconnected. They don't know how to talk about it. They know they're caught in this big, hot drama. They don't know, they feel sort of helpless. They don't even really know what's going on. And so they end up getting into this incredible struggle about whose fault it is.
You did it.
And who's the bad guy. Yeah. And you know,
because there has to be a bad guy.
Well, and it's almost like if I can blame you and you, somehow that makes me feel more in control. But it gets to be real negative, because what we know is when you love someone and you start to get these hostile messages from them, your heart rate goes up. You literally go into a panic. Okay.
Hey, I have to confess.
You mean physiologically?
I have to confess.
It's a real
okay,
panic.
hold it, girls. I have to confess. Early years of my marriage, I was king of the blame game. I figured if I could just show Donalyn that it was 51% her fault, the rest didn't matter, because it was mostly her fault, right? And so it was all about the blame. So
51?
if I could out-talk her...
Why don't go for 95?
Well, but I only had to prove 51, and I was free, right?
All right.
So, but it really messed us up, because it didn't get us closer.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I think all of us are dying to know is it's amazing to us with the blame or whatever. How can our relationship just be soaring? I mean, it is so good. We're laughing. Things are great. And it doesn't take hardly anything. And we have just crashed and burned. And we don't even want to be in the same room with each other.
Well, usually it's because something gets triggered where this doubt or this emotional need comes up, and you're really saying, are you there for me? And somehow you get a no or a maybe.
Yeah.
And everything starts to just slide, and the emotions start to change. It's like the emotions are kind of the music of the dance. The dance shifts.
It went to a minor key really quick.
You got it.
I got it.
I was thinking it went off a cliff.
Yeah, well, it goes off the cliff. And people don't know how to stand back and look at it. And so the trouble with this is it's a way of dealing with your disconnection that just makes the disconnection worse.
Okay, I'm jumping on the stand back and look at it. You said something that I thought was brilliant. Okay.
Oh, good.
In the midst, okay, you guys, you gotta listen because you're gonna relate. In the midst of the argument, it's like watching a tennis game. And
That's
we
right.
get focused on the ball going back and forth across the net.
Right.
And we don't stop to look back and see what's happening in the game.
That's right.
And I watched this with my husband and our oldest son. The other night, they got into quite the disagreement, and I thought, oh, they're just looking at the ball. They're just reacting to each other, and nobody is stepping back to ask, what are they really saying?
Yeah, and you have such a... The thing about bonding relationships is love isn't a friendship. It isn't a negotiation. It's this bond where you have this incredible impact on each other, okay? And your brain codes that sort of emotional distance as danger. So, you know, somebody else can say all kinds of things to me. All my husband really has to do to have things start to just slide off the cliff is to sort of raise his left eyebrow. You know, I'll say something to him that I think is deeply meaningful, and he goes, oh. And we're off.
Okay. Now that's the first, though. The blame game is the first, right? Now you got this.
They can't do it for long, that one.
No, because they jump into the next one. Give us the next one.
The next one's the real one that sinks everybody, and I call it the protest polka. Other people have called it demand withdraw.
Yes.
But the bottom line is somebody's trying to say, are you there for me? Where are you? Do I matter to you? But it doesn't quite, they don't say it that clearly, and it comes out like, you're never there for me. You don't want to talk. How come you don't want to talk?
How come you didn't show up the other day?
Right, you're late. You're always late. Your grandmother's late. Your whole country's late. It's a genetic defect. You know, like it gets bigger and bigger, and somebody starts pushing and they look aggressive, and unfortunately what they're trying to get is the other person to respond to them. What they do is push the other person away. The other person says, well, you're so difficult to talk to. I don't want to talk right now. Let's talk about this tomorrow. And they withdraw. The more they withdraw, the more panic the other person gets, the more the person pushes. You get this terrible circle.
They didn't like the feeling of the push, so they kind of pull away, kind of go, I don't like the way she talked to me.
So we're supposed to actually translate them turning around and walking out of the room as they just panicked?
Sure, why not?
Ooh, I don't know if I can do that, Sue. I'm going going.
But you're
Get
good.
back here.
Yeah. You're good at making
Well,
the guy want to walk out of the room.
You're dealing with your panic, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I know, Mark. You get a tone going.
You know what? You let me take care of my tones,
But
okay?
She got tones.
But you know what happens is one person looks very angry, and the other person does something that I think is really hard for us in relationships. The other person sort of shuts down and says something like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Tricky part about that is people say, well, if I do that, I just want to stop the argument. You know, it's going to be better. What they forget is when they shut down, they shut the other person out. And that does not feel better to the other person at all. And you see people, you know, they do this, when it really takes over a relationship, they start to do this in every conversation, and people get more lonelier and more frustrated and more disconnected.
I've got to stop you. We're lonely, but you got to hear what she said. We're lonely, we're frustrated, we're disconnected because we're panicking. And you've got two people panicking, but there is a way to connect. You go to our website, you can link to get Sue's book, Hold Me Tight. You can look into her emotionally focused therapy, and we've got a great magazine article on emotional abandonment. But don't go, because the best part's coming. We're going to connect.